Welcome to What If Plus Explanation. Today, political ideologies, moderatism. Moderationism likes to stay within what is called the Overton window, where it is, at the heart of the political spectrum. What it does, always look for balance, compromise, and solutions that are acceptable to everyone, the famous Overton window. Their philosophy, they prefer to solve problems step by step, pragmatism, rather than turn the table upside down with great revolutions. Liberalism. Liberalism advocates liberty as a fundamental value and seeks to maximize autonomy and political freedom. It favors very limited government and believes in the same principles as liberalism, such as equality before the law and the fundamental rights to life, liberty, and property. Its mantra: individual freedom is sacred, both socially, what you do, what you say, and economically, free markets. What it loves: rights, democracy, and having the government in a corner, ready to enforce the rules but without interfering too much in people's lives. Its philosophy: I am free to do what I want as long as I don't trample on my neighbor's freedom. Conservatism is a political ideology based on the defense of traditional social institutions and established practices. Maintaining stability, it encourages gradual social change and is skeptical about radical or revolutionary reforms. Order and authority supports social order, law, and established institutions of authority. Hereditary values, it emphasizes the importance of inherited values, religion often, and the family as the foundation of society. Conservatism prioritizes the wisdom of the past as a guide to current policies. Conservatism is the ideology of, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And probably even if it's broken, let's do it slowly. Capitalism. Capitalism is an economic system based on private ownership of the means of production and their operation for profit, private ownership, free trade, competition, division of labor, and social cooperation. Capitalism is the ideology of he who sleeps does not catch fish, and if he catches them, he sells them to the highest bidder. Think of it as a giant auction where everyone has the right to open their own business. There is no central boss who says what to produce. Everyone follows their own wallet. In practice, its motto: private property and earning. If you have the means, you use them to make money. What governs everything? Competition. You are free to make, buy, or sell whatever you want, as long as you find someone willing to trade with you. The free market. His philosophy: my goal is to get rich, and in doing so, I end up making the economy dynamic for everyone. Socialism. Socialism is the ideology of all for one and one for all. Think of it as a big neighborhood cooperative. The socialists say, if we all work together and the means of production, such as large factories or resources, are collectively owned or managed by the state, we can ensure that profits and wealth are distributed fairly among all. In practice, its motto: equality and cooperation. What it wants: a redistribution of wealth and strong state intervention to ensure essential social services, health, education for all. His philosophy: the well-being of society is more important than the unlimited gain of a few, so let's change the rules of the game. Separatism. Separatism is the ideology of we want a table of our own, thank you. Think of it as a group of friends who get fed up with the crowded restaurant and decide, enough! Let's open our own restaurant, with our own rules and our own dishes. Their aim is to break away from an existing state or government to form a new and independent one. In practice, its motto: secession and autonomy. What it wants: to create a sovereign and separate nation for cultural, linguistic, ethnic, religious, or simply political reasons. His philosophy: we don't feel represented or understood here, so the best thing for our identity is to leave and govern ourselves. Communism. Communism is the ideology of everything to all according to need, and there is no longer a wallet. Think of it as a giant sharing party where everyone works for the good of the community, and in return, everyone gets exactly what they need: food, clothes, home, etc. The real goal in theory is to completely eliminate the state, social classes, and private property. In practice, its motto, common property and society without classes. What it wants, that resources and means of production, factories and land, are collectively owned rather than privately owned. His philosophy, inequality and oppression arise from private property and money. Let us eliminate them by flourishing true equality and abundance. Corporatism. Corporatism is the ideology of let's all be a team, but not a football. Think of it as a society organized in guilds or corporations based on your craft. For example, the Farmers Corporation, the Engineers Corporation, the Teachers Corporation, etc. Instead of making workers and bosses fight, they all sit down at the same table to manage their industry. In practice, its motto, interclass cooperation for the interests of the nation. What it wants, for the state, workers and employers in a given sector to negotiate and decide on economic and labor policies together, avoiding class conflicts. His philosophy, our economy is a clock, and every cog, agriculture, industry, services, must run in harmony under the leadership of the state, not for individual profit. Anarchism. Anarchism is the ideology of no boss. We manage ourselves, thank you very much. Think of it as a condominium meeting where, fed up with rules, bureaucracy, and presidents, everyone decides to burn the statute and solve problems by chatting among neighbors without delegating power to anyone. In practice, its motto, absence of government and maximum freedom. What it wants, the abolition of all forms of coercive authority or state. Society must be organized through voluntary associations and free cooperation. His philosophy, government is the root of all evils and injustices. By eliminating it, humanity is capable of living together peacefully and rationally. Feminism. Feminism is the ideology of same rights, same salaries, same opportunities, period. Think of it as a team where, for centuries, half of the players have been forced to sit on the bench or play by different rules. Feminism says, let's rewrite the rules for equality and put everyone back on the field. In practice, its motto, equality between the sexes, political, economic, personal, and social. What it wants, to remove discrimination and social structures that prioritize the male point of view, patriarchy, while combating gender stereotypes. His philosophy, a person's sex should never limit his potential or his rights in society. The monarchy is the ideology of command me because my grandmother says so. Think of it as a very, very old family business. The power to govern is not achieved by elections or by a resume, but by inheritance from father to son. It doesn't matter if you're good or not. The throne is yours by birthright. In practice, his motto, hereditary kingdom, and sovereignty of the monarch. What he wants, to keep a king or queen, the monarch, as head of state. His philosophy, blue blood and tradition guarantee legitimacy and stability, uniting the people under one symbol. Note, there are the absolute monarchies, where the king rules over everything, and the constitutional monarchies, where the king has a predominantly ceremonial role and the royal power is parliament.